Welcome to a deep dive that really promises to turn what you thought you knew inside out. Today, we're tackling a really profound text, foundational for billions. Matthew chapter 5, you know it, the Sermon on the Mount. And our guide for this exploration is Salt and Flame, a poetic Greek exegesis of Matthew 5 and the Inward Kingdom by Skylar Fiction. It offers a truly transformative perspective.
Yeah, our mission today is really to unpack this sermon, but not as a rigid set of rules or just ethical demands. We want to see it as a radical revelation of inner transformation. We'll be viewing it through the lens of the original Greek, seeing how those specific words, those nuances, illuminate Jesus's vision of the kingdom as this inward revolution.
That's right. Forget what you might expect. This deep dive using this source suggests the sermon isn't some ladder you climb towards an external goal. It's more like a mirror where we're invited to discover our true shape, a kind of deeper reality about ourselves.
And we'll specifically focus on how key Greek terms like makarioi, that's blessed, dikaiosynē, righteousness, basileia, ouranōn, kingdom of heaven, and agapē, love. How these reveal that Jesus' message is all about a fundamental internal shift. It's not just about the outward actions.
Okay, so how does this journey begin? Where do we start? It starts not with doctrine, interestingly, but with direction, upward. The Greek, anebe ista oras, tells us Jesus literally went up into the mountain. And it's fascinating how mountains in Scripture, they aren't just geography, are they? They often signal these profound spiritual encounters, almost like altar spaces where dust meets fire, as the source puts it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Think of Sinai, the law, or Carmel, the prophetic confrontations. But here, on this unnamed mountain, you just have a teacher sitting, whispering, blessing. It's quite a paradoxical scene, isn't it? Jesus sees the oculus, these huge crowds, but he ascends, he withdraws. But in that withdrawal, he draws his disciples closer. There's no thunder, no fire, no stone tablets, just this invitation, this pull, and a kind of profound stillness before the word is spoken.
And that detail that he sat down, cathesis, our source highlights, that's not incidental at all. It's a classic signal, right? Authoritative teaching in rabbinic tradition. So this isn't a sermon just to the crowd. It feels more like he's forming a people.
It really raises a powerful question. What kind of teaching starts with such intimacy, such quiet? The phrase opening his mouth, kainosis, to stoma auto edidaskin autos legun, well, that's a Semitic idiom. It often signals truly solemn or revelatory speech. It's like the voice that called light from chaos is speaking again. But this time, not with thunder, but with blessing. And this sermon, which is going to elevate the poor, the meek, the mourning, it all begins right there in that silent ascent, the intimacy of sitting, the dignity of teaching.
Okay, so when we get into the core message, the very first word Jesus speaks is makarioi, blessed. And it's not a command, it's not a condition, it's a declaration of divine regard. But what does it really mean to be makarios here?
Well, the English word blessed, it can be a bit vague, can't it? Our source points out that in classical Greek, makarios usually describe the gods, untouched by suffering, living in this state of untroubled happiness. But Jesus just completely flips this, turns it on its head. He doesn't declare it over the strong or the serene. He declares it over the poor, the broken, the unseen.
He says, blessed are the poor in spirit. Makarioi, hoi pichoi tu pneumati. And that word tichoi is so striking. It doesn't just mean modestly humble, does it? It implies utterly destitute, like a beggar. Someone with absolutely no power, no pretense.
Yes, exactly. Those who are spiritually bankrupt, they have nothing to offer but hunger, nothing to bring but lack, and it's to these people that the promise is given. Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Oti oton estinhe basileia ton oranchin. Notice that critical present tense, not will be. This points towards what our source calls resurrection theology, where life rises upward from dust. Right here, right now.
That immediately makes me wonder then, what does the kingdom of heaven truly signify here? Because our source definitely challenges that common modern view, just an ethereal afterlife destination.
That's a crucial distinction, yes. The Greek term basileia, it isn't really a geographical territory. It means reign, rule, sovereignty. It's a dynamic term. It's an action, not just a static place. It's presented as a kind of divine subversion of earthly systems, arriving not with armies, but with blessing. And ton oranon, of the heavens, in the plural, that refers to the sphere of divine presence, so it was often more faithfully rendered as the reign of God.
Right. And Matthew, writing to a Jewish audience, uses heaven out of reverence for God's name. But the profound point, as the source says, is that this heaven is not high above. It is piercing through the present. It's not distant.
Exactly. Precisely. This kingdom is already possessed, but not by the mighty, by the meek. It doesn't expand through conquest or war. It grows inward. like yeast through dough,
Yeah.
like seed through soil. It's described as a hidden revolution beginning inside the poor, the grieving, the peacemakers, the persecuted deaf. And if you look at the sermon structure, the first and the eighth Beatitudes both mention the kingdom of heaven. They frame the whole thing, suggesting that everything in between is really what that kingdom looks like in practice. So the kingdom of heaven isn't so much a place we enter, it's more like a presence that enters us.
Okay, next, Jesus blesses those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Hoi pinuntis kai dipsumtis tan dikaiosynē. Righteousness. It feels like a word worn thin today, doesn't it? Often just reduced to moral compliance, simple rule following. But Jesus clearly means something, well, far deeper here.
He absolutely does. The Greek dikaiosynē. Dikaiosty, it doesn't mean just personal piety or following the rules. It signifies right relationship. With God, yes, but also with our neighbors, with all of creation. It's about wholeness and harmony, and it's deeply rooted in that Hebrew concept of tzedek, which is about the justice that restores balance to a broken world. And the hunger and thirst described here, it's visceral, it's desperate longing, not just some casual desire. This isn't meant to be a private virtue. The source calls it a public fire.
And the promise attached is that they shall be satisfied. Kortisai sontai. Our source notes that kortisos means filled to the brim. That sounds intense.
It is. It implies a complete, profound satisfaction, not just spiritual, but deeply felt, transformative, touching every part of your being. It even points towards a future fulfillment. So this isn't some empty blessing. It's a profound prophetic promise. And this dikaiosynē, this deep harmony, it's going to reappear as a central theme, suggesting not stricter rules, but deeper harmony where love is the law and mercy is the measure.
Right. Okay, so after declaring who is blessed, Jesus then declares who we are. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. Our source calls these ontological revelations. He's saying these aren't just metaphors. This is your very identity.
Yes, exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, salt, halos, back then was crucial. A preservative, a purifier, a symbol of covenant. So Jesus is saying you are what holds the earth together. It's a huge statement. But this identity, it can be lost. The Greek verb moraino, for loses its savor. It means to become foolish, dull, or tasteless. It's a powerful warning, isn't it? Against a kind of diminished witness, losing your essential impact.
And then you are the light of the world. Imes este tu phis tu kosmou. It's pretty astonishing because Jesus himself is often called the light, and now he turns and says, so are you. It's like we're meant to be a prism through which divine light touches the dark.
But just like salt can lose its savor, light can be hidden. Jesus describes the absurdity, really, of trying to conceal light, putting it under a basket. And this isn't really a critique of failure so much as fear, hiding one's radiance. The call is clear. Let your light shine before others. Lamsatus human prostanton antruptichun, right? So they may see your beautiful works, kala erga, and glorify your Father in heaven. This visibility, it isn't about showing off, it's vulnerability, chosen for love, for the sake of others.
Okay, this next section feels like a really crucial turning point in the sermon. Jesus declares, do not think that I came to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish, but to fulfill. And our source emphasizes the Greek monamiset. It's incredibly emphatic. Do not even begin to suppose this.
Right. And the word katalisai, kathizoesai, it means to dismantle, to destroy a structure, like tearing down a building. Jesus emphatically states he didn't come to pull apart what Moses established, no. Instead, he came to plurusai, to fill them full, to complete their heart, you could say, to bring their true purpose into clarity. The law always pointed toward something, didn't it? Toward justice, toward covenant, toward the love of neighbor and God. Jesus embodies that ultimate trajectory. He is the fulfillment.
He even says, not one iota or one strike shall pass from the law until all is accomplished. Hitzen pantogenetai. Our source underscores that its permanence lies in its ultimate aim, its spiritual purpose, not just the rigid rules themselves.
Precisely, yeah. He upends legalism, but not by lowering the standard. He deepens it radically. The law is no longer primarily about external compliance. It becomes about internal resonance, a heart shaped by mercy, a will aligned with compassion. He doesn't throw away the old scroll. He writes its truest form in human flesh.
Wow, and he sharpens that point even further, saying, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. I mean, that would have absolutely shocked his first hearers, wouldn't it? Because scribes and Pharisees, they were seen as the paragons of purity, of strict adherence to the law.
It's a profound statement.
Yeah.
Shocking is the right word, and it forces the question. If it's not about keeping more rules, then what kind of righteousness is he talking about? The word used is perisuso, presexis. It means exceed, overflow, abound. So this righteousness must surpass theirs, not in quantity, ticking more boxes, but in quality. It's deeply inward, alive with mercy, burning with love. It's not a righteousness measured by ritual, but by relationship. It doesn't seek to impress God. It actually makes room for God.
Our source calls the law, in this context, a mirror, something that reflects our inward state. So, entering the kingdom of heaven, eislusatai is ton basilian ton ouranōn. It isn't about passing some external test then. It's about being reshaped from the inside out.
Yes, that's it. True righteousness flows from a heart that has truly seen God and been broken open by the sight. It's not performance, it's presence. The gate to the kingdom is not guarded by merit badges, it's guarded by mercy. And the only way in, well, the source says it's to carry none of your pride with you.
Now, the rhythm shifts significantly, doesn't it? Jesus begins to, rewrite the world, not by rejecting the Torah, but by transfiguring it from within. He uses that powerful, repeated phrase, "You have heard that it was said, but I say to you, okusati huti erototwa arkawa, egju deleguchimin." And he applies this across several core areas, transforming our understanding of, everything from anger and lust to oaths and vengeance.
And what's so powerful, so authoritative, is that he speaks as one who doesn't merely interpret Scripture. He embodies its fulfillment. Take murder, for instance. The law condemns the act itself. Obvious. But Jesus delves straight to the root. Anyone who is angry with a brother. The Greek orgizomenos, describes someone who harbors anger, who nurtures it, indicating that this inner state is already unraveling the soul of another.
Wow. He even names the destructive power of simple insults. Raka, like calling someone an empty-headed fool, and muros, expressing moral contempt. He shows this whole spectrum of verbal violence that mirrors physical harm. And then with adultery, he drills right into the inner realm of desire, saying, anyone who looks with lust, epithamazai. This isn't just about, finding someone attractive. It's the will to possess, the act of reducing another to an object.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Jesus isn't just raising the standard impossibly high to make us fail. That's not the point. He's calling us to become a new kind of human. When he uses these seemingly poetic violence metaphors like pluck it out, exegesis, gouge out your eye, these aren't literal instructions, obviously. They're powerful images, metaphors for the absolute seriousness of inward transformation. It's a call to spiritual surgery. It's about becoming genuinely incapable of delighting in evil at the root level.
And this leads us to the part where the sermon, as the source says, burns white hot. The radical unmaking of vengeance. Jesus gives this staggering command, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Agapē tus extrasimon.
And that word agapē, it signifies this fierce, unconditional love, a love that actively seeks the good of the other, even when that other is your persecutor. Or, as our source reminds us, the ekros, the enemy, wasn't some abstract idea for his listeners. It was Rome, the oppressive empire, real soldiers, real collaborators. Jesus doesn't spiritualize away that real violence. He addresses its full weight.
And the why behind this command is incredibly profound, that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. So the logic isn't about earning something. It's about resemblance, becoming like the Divine Father.
Indeed. Yeah, and the compelling example he gives is creation itself. The sun rises on both evil and good people. The rain falls on both the just and the unjust. The Father's love isn't transactional. It's not based on merit. It's this indiscriminate grace. So to truly follow Jesus means becoming like that sun, like that rain, extending goodness without calculation. And finally, that culminates in the command, be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. And teleos here, it means whole, mature, complete. Not flawlessly sinless in some impossible way, but fully aligned with divine love. It's ultimately an invitation into divine likeness, a call to wholeness.
Wow. Okay, so stepping back, our deep dive into Matthew 5 has truly revealed a sermon that's, it's not just about a list of rules, is it? It's about an inward revolution, a fundamental remapping of the self. It's clearly not about mere behavior modification. It's a total reorientation of the heart.
That's it, exactly, yeah. Our source helps us see this profound transformation where the mountain of external law kind of becomes the landscape of the heart and the law itself becomes a liturgy of love. The Beatitudes offered that upside-down blessing. Salt and light defined our new identity. Righteousness shifted from just compliance to this deep resonance. Enemy love shattered the ego. All these elements move us toward a kingdom not built by hands, but one that is pulsing within, like breath, like fire, like a heartbeat remembered.
And it's powerful to keep remembering that consistent emphasis on Estin. It is theirs. Now.
Yeah.
The kingdom isn't just something coming someday. It's already here, present in the poor, in spirit, the mourners, the peacemakers, right now.
Ultimately, this deep dive into Matthew 5, it isn't just instruction, is it? It's really an invitation, a call to become the kind of human God envisioned from the very beginning, to hunger for righteousness, not as mere rules, but as that deep resonance of right relationship. To forgive not out of weakness, but because, as the source puts it, mercy is the music we were made for.
So thinking about all this, what does it mean for you listening right now? This deep dive through the lens of salt and flame leaves us with this really powerful challenge. When you love the one who hates you, when you bless instead of curse, when you turn your face toward the violence and do not flinch, you will not simply obey the kingdom, you will have become it.
That's quite a thought. And consider this maybe. How might intentionally trying to embody even just one of these radical reorientations from the Sermon on the Mount, how might that shift your own internal landscape? And by extension, the world immediately around you. It really suggests that the most profound revolutions, they often begin not with grand gestures, but simply with an altered heart.